Chapter 7. Political Fractures. The Wolf Council's chamber loomed before Ava like a forgotten relic from another age. The natural plateau was carved into a circular arena, its walls etched with ancient runes that pulsed faintly under the pale moonlight. Wolves in both human and shifted forms filled the space, their murmured conversations echoing against the stone. Ava followed Xander closely, her grip on the tome tight enough to turn her knuckles white. "Stay close," Xander murmured, his voice low and protective. "The council will see you as a threat. Let me handle the talking." Ava nodded, her throat dry as her eyes darted around the room. Every gaze she met seemed to bore into her, some curious, others openly hostile. This was the heart of the Wolf Realm's power, and she was an outsider who had stumbled into its midst. At the center of the chamber stood a raised stone platform where the elders sat in a semicircle. Each elder carried an aura of authority, their presence commanding respect and fear. To Ava's left, Elder Mirella, a sharp-eyed woman with streaks of silver in her hair, observed her with a mix of curiosity and calculation. On the opposite side sat Elder Rowan, his expression cold and unreadable, though his eyes glinted with distrust. "Who brings this stranger before the council?" Rowan's voice cut through the murmurs, sharp and commanding, his gaze locked onto Xander. "I do," Xander said, stepping forward. "This is Ava. She is the Silver Wolf." The chamber erupted into chaos. Some voices rose in disbelief, others in anger. Ava shrank back, the weight of their scrutiny pressing down on her like a physical force. "Enough!" Mirella's voice rang out, silencing the room. She rose to her feet, her gaze sweeping across the assembled wolves. "The prophecy speaks of a silver wolf who will rise to confront the darkness. If this girl is who Xander claims, then we must hear her out." "Or control her," Rowan interjected, his voice dripping with suspicion. "If she truly possesses the power of the Silver Wolf, she is a weapon, one that should be wielded wisely." Ava's stomach churned. She stepped forward, her voice trembling but determined. "I'm not a weapon. I didn't ask for this power, but it's mine, and I'll decide how to use it." Rowan's lips curled into a faint sneer. Bold words for someone who doesn't understand the stakes. The darkness is spreading, and every moment we waste debating gives it more ground. "Then perhaps we should focus on unity instead of control," Mirella countered, her tone measured but firm. "The prophecy is clear. The Silver Wolf's power is meant to restore balance, not to serve as a tool for the Council's ambitions." The tension in the chamber thickened as the two elders locked gazes, their ideological divide evident. Ava's pulse quickened. She glanced at Xander, who stood tall and unwavering beside her, his presence a steadying force. "The darkness doesn't care about your politics," Xander said, his voice cutting through the charged silence. "It's already here, and it's coming for all of us. Ava has the power to stop it, but not if we're too busy fighting each other to act." A murmur of agreement rippled through some of the gathered wolves, though others remained skeptical. Rowan's gaze darkened. And what happens when she loses control? What happens when the power consumes her, and she becomes a threat to us all? Ava flinched at his words, the memory of her transformation still fresh and raw. But she straightened her spine, meeting Rowan's gaze with as much resolve as she could muster. "I won't let that happen," she said, her voice steady. "I don't know everything about this power yet, but I'll learn. And I'll fight for this realm, just like all of you." Mirella nodded approvingly, but Rowan remained unconvinced. He leaned back in his chair, his expression cold. "Words are easy. Prove it." Before Ava could respond, a shadow passed over the chamber, drawing every eye upward. The air grew colder, and a faint, unnatural howl echoed in the distance. Mirella's expression tightened, and even Rowan's composure slipped for a fraction of a second. "The darkness is here," Mirella said grimly, "and it grows bolder by the hour." Rowan rose to his feet. "Then we have no time to waste. If the girl wants to prove herself, let her face it." Ava's breath hitched. She turned to Xander, searching his face for reassurance. He placed a hand on her shoulder, his golden eyes steady and unyielding. "You don't have to do this alone," he said quietly. Ava swallowed hard, her grip tightening on the tome. She looked back at Rowan and the other elders, her heart pounding. "I'll do whatever it takes to stop the darkness," she said. "But this fight isn't just mine. It's all of ours." Morella stepped forward, her gaze resolute. "Then let's prepare. The darkness won't wait for us to settle our differences. If we're to stand any chance, we must stand together." Rowan said nothing, his expression unreadable. He turned and strode out of the chamber, his silence more ominous than any threat. The other elders began to disperse, their murmurs a mix of doubt and determination. As the chamber emptied, Ava let out a shaky breath. Xander's hand remained on her shoulder, grounding her. "You did well," he said. Ava managed a small nervous smile. "I hope it's enough." "It will be," Xander said firmly, "but this is just the beginning." Together they turned and left the chamber, the weight of their task pressing heavily on their shoulders. The distant howl echoed again, a chilling reminder of the battles yet to come,